Hello everyone, my name is Amber Krupinski and I'm a Younique presenter. Today I'm going to try and show you a pretty quick face. Stepping out of my comfort zone and doing this on video. I never do a video and I rarely show people how I do my makeup. But here we go, we're going to do both. So the first thing I do may seem a little bit out of sequence to you, and there's a reason I do it. I start with my eyes, and the reason I do that is so that as I progress and do my foundation and everything else, it cleans it up. So here we go. I've already used the Glorious Primer to get started, and that puts a nice start to the face, makes everything hold in place. I've also gone around and used my Touch Cream Foundation and look for any spots I wanted to kind of add a little bit additional coverage. So I've done that already. Now, the eyes. I'm going to just do a very simple eyes. We're going to use Confident as an eyeshadow, and I'm going to apply that wet. And people hear us talk about using our pigments wet or dry. What I do is I'll take our rose water, which is amazing. If you don't have it, you need it. I spray just the brush, and I get it pretty good and wet. Nice wet brush here. And I'll just put that into the shadow that I've already put into the lid. So the lid turns into kind of my palette, the artist palette. And then I just lightly apply. And it seems really wet, but I actually want it this way because it allows me to build up a little bit. And you can get it to whatever consistency you want that makes sense for you. I'm in a pretty well sunlit room. I find that that's always the best place to do your makeup because that lets you know what it's going to look like in the harsh daylight. There's no hiding in sunlight. So there you go, wet eyeshadow. Yes, it's shiny. It's going to dry to a nice solid color. And then what you're gonna find is once it dries, it's not gonna move. It's not going anywhere. And I think that that part's kind of awesome because who wants to see creased eyeshadow or eyeshadow at the end of the day that, well, isn't there? All right, the next color I'm gonna use is our most popular color, Sexy. And I'm not going to use this one wet. I'm actually going to use it dry with a different brush here, and I'm just applying it pretty lightly under my brow. And then a little bit in the corner. And that's it for eyeshadow. I know right now it doesn't look like much because the rest of my makeup's not done. But let me tell you, I said I was keeping it simple, and this is simple. And so I don't spill anything, I'm just closing that up and moving it to the side. The next thing I'm going to do is use our BB cream, which is this. I use Bisque. Bisque is probably our most popular color. And for my, where I put it, since it's in this, I just put it on my thumb here. Pretty fancy, huh? Makeup artist trick, your thumb. And then I use our purple blending bud. Now, they say to use it wet. You could have a dish that you soak into. In this case, I'm just gonna spray it with rose water. Once again, I try and get the rose water wherever I can on my face. And then the reason you wanna do that is because if it has the rose water on here, it won't soak the foundation into the bud. It's already wet, it's already saturated. So you're just applying now directly to, and here you go, you want to pat and not rub. Pat, rub, not rub. If you hear me in the background while you do your own makeup saying pat, don't rub, that's perfect. I'm going to keep repeating it so you don't forget. And see, any eyeshadow that wasn't in place at this point, I've now cleaned up during this process. I'm going to go and use the little corner of it and get really close under my eyes. Now, a longer face, and I will do this at some point, I might go back with different colors and do a little bit of contouring. I'm not going to do that in this video just because I want to show you that you really can have a finished look on your face, not my hair obviously, but on your face in a pretty quick, effortless amount of time. all while your baby's sleeping right next to you. Yes, new moms, you too can wear makeup. All right. It's got pretty good coverage there. Now the beauty about BB cream is it does double as also a moisturizer. It helps really even your skin tone because of the minerals that are in it. It has a natural occurring SPF of SPF 20, so you don't have to add an additional SPF. And it's all natural again. So once again, keeping those things off of your face that you really don't want on there. To seal it in and to add a little bit of additional coverage, I go back over with the Touch Press powder. In this case, I'm using the color Taffeta. Because I don't want a heavy coverage, I use a brush versus the enclosed sponge, but it does have an enclosed sponge normally. My sponge isn't in there because I've since taken it out. I don't use it. So once again, just brush. You can use the old adage, brush and tap. And then I'm just going lightly over. All right, so that part's done. Now it's May. So because it's May, I'm going to use our new Beachfront Bronzer in the color Hermosa. And that's going to be my blush. And you'll see that the bronzer has two sides, a shimmery side and more of a matte side. I kind of go right down the middle. And then right through here. Right here. And because I'm not really contouring, I do always a little bit of contour. I don't like anyone to see that double chin. So I'm just going to go under here. Shh, don't tell. It's my little secret. Okay, eyeliner. We have a wonderful eyeliner. I use Perfect. Perfect is the black color. And I'm going to do that with having just sharpened with our Younique sharpener. Our Younique sharpener doesn't come to a complete point. It's a little bit rounded. So you don't have to worry about that breaking off on your eye. So I always pull. Someone's going to yell at me someday for doing this. Probably is going to stretch out my eye, cause more wrinkles down the road than I was supposed to have. But I use the uplift every day, so I'm not going to get wrinkles. I mean, really, I'm 80 years old. You just can't tell. Just kidding. All right. And once again to the other side. Makeup trip number 550 here. Always do your worst eye first. And that way you can try and match your good eye to your worst eye. And then you're not... I mean, we've all done it where we've done one eye and then have to go back and fix and fix and fix. And next thing you know, we have the worst looking eyeliner and we should have just started from scratch. So if you do the worst eye first, it becomes very simple. And I just do a little brush underneath. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. All right. And I like to make sure I have it right to the lash line. That's just me being picky. No one else is going to notice but me. Okay. And then the infamous 3D lash. This doesn't have to take an eternity. You can sit there and get picky. I open both at the same time. Everyone should do this when you go to do it. So I'm just going to go and apply one coat pretty quickly, kind of like a base coat, and I'm going to do my under lashes too. And I'm going to let that dry. And then while that's drying, I'm going to go do the other eye real quick, just a base coat. Everyone's freaking out going, oh my gosh, Amber, your rules always say do one eye and then do the other. Well, I do a base coat, and then I go back and do it officially, the 3-step process. It's just a personal preference. You can do it however you want. There are no rules in makeup. There's nothing that says anybody has to do it this way or has to do it that way. Be creative. Just because I do it this way doesn't mean, you know, someone else is doing something wrong. All right, and then this allows me to just go back to this eye really focus on the tips. All right, and then the fibers. I'm just going to get that on there, and I just push them in and drag them up. Push in, drag up. You can already see what a difference, right? And once again, I'm breaking rules. I want to let that sit. And now I'm going to go over and do the other eye here. Get the tips nice and wet so they'll hold the fibers. And because I'm showing you guys, I'm getting mascara all over my eyelid, but I'll show you, you can fix that really easy. And here we go. Push and drag that up. Push and drag them up. You really want to start at the mid-lash and work your way out. Never, ever, ever start at the base of your lashes because they're fibers. They can get in your eye. I mean, I don't think anybody really wants them in your eye. They won't hurt you. They're green tea, but that doesn't mean they're going to feel good. It's kind of like an eyelash going into your eye. It doesn't feel good. It's not hurting you. It just doesn't feel good. All right, and then, because this is a quick face, I'm not going to do anything more than one coat. Sometimes I do two, but it looks pretty darn good. And then over to this side. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Sorry, my mirror's to the side here. I'm trying to make it so you guys can see everything, but, you know, gotta do what I gotta do. Super simple, not tarantula eyes. I've heard people say Younique mascara is like tarantula eyes. Well, I say sit down and try it again. So chances are you just didn't do it quite right. And it took me a time or two to figure it out. So if it does, that's okay. So now I'm just going to take that eyeshadow brush that I had used initially, it's still a little bit damp, and go back over where I may have gotten some mascara. No big deal, right? Okay. And then to finish it off, always the last thing I do are my lips. So I'm using the lip stain in Sappy. And it just goes on kind of like a liquid here. Doesn't seem like much initially. The best part is once you get it on, it never has to come off. And I still like the look of a shimmer. So I am using Loyal here, which is just our clear color. Love it. Has a mirror on the side. By the way, when you get these, there's a film on the mirror. Take that off. Otherwise, you'll think your mirror is broken. And this just puts a nice finish on. Feels good too. That's it. Simple. 13 minutes and 57 seconds is what I've timed, but I talk the whole time. Imagine what would happen if I wasn't talking. Okay, let's be real. I talk and sing the whole time I do my makeup anyway. So 15-minute face, that's not bad. We all have 15 minutes, right? So there you go. Ta-da!